Hey everyone and welcome to the channel. In this video I'll be replacing the cat back exhaust in this 1991 VP Commodore. The reason I'm having to replace the exhaust is because the muffler is all rusted out. This is making the car way too loud to drive and it sounds terrible. The exhaust pipe has split altogether, so let's replace it. This is what it sounds like with a rusted out exhaust. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but this is really loud in person. So as you just heard, that's way too loud to be driving on the roads. So the first thing we have to do is jack the car up. Since we're jacking up the back of the car, we need to secure the front wheels. That'll stop the car from rolling forwards when we're jacking it up. So for this job, I'll be jacking the car up from the diff, then putting axle stands under the axle. Great, my jack's not working anymore. I guess I'll have to figure something else out. Okay, so not only is my jack broken, I hit my head on the exhaust tip, and now the entire thing has split in half. Well, that's just great. Luckily, I was able to borrow a bigger jack that actually works. Now, where were we? Okay, now we've got this big chungus under here. Let's continue. Okay, so I've got the axle stands under the axle, and just for extra safety, I've moved the jack over to the side, and I still have it under the diff, just in case one of the axle stands fail. That jack can stop the car from falling on me. We always want to be as safe as possible when working underneath a car. Now, let's get this old junk out of here. The reason it's called a cat back exhaust is because it's everything from the catalytic converter and back. A muffler's not supposed to look like that, by the way. So, we're going to have to remove this section first. All we have to do is undo these two bolts here. But first, I'll give them a quick spray to help loosen them up. This is ridiculously tight. I'm going to spray these a little bit more, let them soak and come back to them afterwards. These are way too tight. We're going to go behind the muffler and take off these two nuts here that hold the final section of the exhaust on. Just like before, we're going to lube up these nuts to help get them undone. Well, these ones were way easier than the other ones we were just doing. Cool, now this back part of the exhaust should come off. Just be aware of the hangers back here. So I've undone the rear hangers so I can get it out easier. Well, here's one muffler, all nice and rusty. It's not supposed to look like that, by the way. Well, now the only thing holding this rear section back is this hanger right here. This part here really doesn't want to separate. So the problem I'm facing now is that I can't get this rear section out. That's because this joint here is refusing to separate. But I have an idea of how I could get it done. And unfortunately, I can't wiggle it out. And no, I don't have a grinder. If I did, I would have already cut this off. We're going to heat it up. It still doesn't want to come off. I have another idea. If I move these axle stands somewhere else, that should lower the axle and I should be able to get the exhaust out of the way. So I've left one over here on the right side and I put the other one under the jacking point. This has caused the left side of the diff to drop down. So hopefully that gives me just enough clearance to get the exhaust pipe out. Finally. Well, that's not good. Now we have one more bit to get out. Sure, I got that bolt head out, but the rest of it's still in there. Well, that's everything removed except for this part here. That bolt snapping off in there has really caused an issue for me. So I'm going to have to cut the video here and figure out how to fix that issue. And in case you were wondering, this is how it sounds coming straight out of the cat as it is right now. Now it's time for some voiceover. So I had to call in some extra help from my mates that also happen to have a hoist, which makes this job much easier to deal with now. And it's just so much easier to work on a car when it's on a hoist instead of laying in the dirt. Now we tried to undo the bit of bolt that was still sticking out, but that wasn't working. Since that wasn't working, we thought some extra heat may have helped. Also, that backfire was really loud. Unfortunately, we still couldn't get it out, so we did the next best thing. At this point, we just decided to drill it out. Since it was on an awkward angle, we took the cat out of the car and did it on the ground. After we finally got that bolt out, it was time to clean up the surfaces so we could put in some new gaskets and bolt it all back together. And this is what the replacement exhaust looks like. I did skip most of the recording because I just wanted to get the job done, and time on the hoist is very valuable, so I didn't want to waste it. And when you're standing around recording while others work on your car, it's not a good look. Finally, after all that extra effort, the new exhaust is on. I can't say I've ever had an exhaust be that difficult to replace before, but thankfully with the help of a few mates and a hoist, it's finally on. Now, let's listen to how it sounds. I think that's much better than before. And with all of that being done, I hope you enjoyed the video and learnt something new. Please consider liking and subscribing.